If you're tired of spending months on grammar rules, word lists, or basic textbook phrases without seeing the results that you want, this lesson is for you. Today, we're going to talk about a unique approach to learning English, skipping the traditional first steps. Sounds crazy, right? But trust me, these 5 proven methods work, especially for adults. I'm Dan from English Perfectus, and by the end of this lesson, you'll know how to jump straight into the real-world English that you actually need. Do away with the boring, stale learning styles and focus on what matters most. Getting fluent and confident as fast as possible. Let's start with a question. Why do most people get stuck when learning English? The answer is simple. They focus too much on the beginner steps, like memorizing grammar rules, studying long vocabulary lists, or learning robotic phrases from textbooks. While these steps have their place, they aren't always the best way to learn. Why? Because language is about communication. It's not about perfection, it's about connection. Studying grammar rules and lists of words is not helpful for most people because it's not exciting. It's not sustainable because most learning comes from pushing your boundaries constantly. In order to do this every single day, and this is the key, you have to be motivated and satisfied that you're learning English that you're actually going to use. Your brain links motivation and satisfaction. If you don't have this sense of satisfaction, you can lose interest and, more importantly, your desire to work on learning every single day. When you were a baby learning your first language, did anyone hand you a grammar book? No, of course not. You listened, mimicked, and started experimenting with words. You focused on understanding and using language in real situations. So why not do the same with English? Skipping the first steps doesn't mean you're ignoring grammar or vocabulary. It means you're learning them naturally as you go. Here are the traditional first steps that we're skipping. Memorizing long grammar rules, studying word lists out of context, perfecting textbook phrases. What we're focusing on instead, real-life conversations, active listening and imitation, building confidence through practice. Here's your first step. Don't start with individual words. Start with whole sentences. Why? Because sentences give you context, and context makes everything easier to remember. For example, instead of learning the word hungry, learn the phrase, I'm hungry. Instead of just memorizing go, practice the sentence, I need to go now. Let's try this together. Repeat after me. I'm thirsty. Can I have some water, please? Thank you very much. Now, notice how these sentences are useful in real life. You're not just learning vocabulary You're learning how to use it immediately. If you're enjoying this, consider checking out the B2C Nation. This is a group that we've developed for intermediate English learners to get to that advanced level. We offer live conversation practice, live lessons, and downloadable material for you to study offline. If you're interested, check the link in the description to learn more. The next step is to focus on listening before speaking. This might sound strange, but think about it. When you learned your first language, you listened for months before you said your first word. Listening helps you understand pronunciation, rhythm, and how sentences flow. Here's what you can do. Find native English audio. Listen to podcasts, YouTube videos, or audiobooks made for native speakers on topics you find interesting. Even if you don't understand everything, focus on the sounds and the patterns. Use the shadowing technique. Repeat what you hear. For example, if you hear someone say, "How are you?" you say it back right away. Don't worry about being perfect, just mimic the sounds. I'm going to say a few sentences and I want you to listen carefully and then repeat after me. Ready? What's your name? I'd like a coffee, please. Can you help me with this? These are all common sentences that we use in our daily lives. The more you listen and repeat, the faster you'll improve. One of the biggest mistakes language learners make is trying to learn everything. You don't need to know every English word to speak fluently. You only need the words and phrases you'll actually use. So, how do you decide what to learn? Start by thinking about your goals. Are you learning English for work, for travel, to make friends? Focus on the language that matches your goals. Also, prioritize high-frequency phrases. Did you know that the most common 1,000 words in English make up about 85% of spoken conversations? This may seem like a lot if you're just starting to take English learning seriously. But if you stick to a routine, working on a few sentences each day, you'll make serious improvements. Let's say you're learning English for travel. Here are some useful phrases. Where's the nearest train station? How much does this cost? Can I have the bill, please? Go and write down 3 situations where you'll need English. For example, ordering food, meeting new people, checking into a hotel. Then write down 3 to 5 sentences for each situation. Practice these sentences until they feel natural. In fact, if you'd like some helpful complete sentences to start with, ones that you can use in your daily life, I've created a free set of everyday conversations made up of common sentences for you. Use the link in the description to have it emailed directly to you. Here's a secret. The fastest learners are the ones who aren't afraid to make mistakes. I encourage you to make mistakes. Why? Because every mistake is a learning opportunity. Start speaking early. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start speaking from day one. Start today. Even if it's just simple sentences. Use every opportunity to practice. Talk to yourself, practice with language exchange partners, or even leave comments in English online. Leave a comment using your best English on this lesson and show us what you've got. Remember, mistakes don't mean failure, they mean progress. When someone corrects you, it's like getting a free lesson. Today, I challenge you to say something in English, even if it's not perfect. Post a comment here or practice with a friend. The more you practice, the better you'll get. The final step is immersion. But don't worry, you don't have to move to an English-speaking country to immerse yourself. You can create your own English environment wherever you are. How do you do this? You can change your media. Watch movies, listen to songs, and read books in English. Choose things you enjoy so it doesn't feel like studying. Change the settings on your phone to English. This is a great method because if you're like most people, you probably use your phone a lot, and the icons, emojis, and images can be helpful. Talk to yourself. Narrate your day in English. For example, while cooking, say, "I'm chopping up vegetables now. Next, I'll prepare the main course. For dessert, I think I'll have some cheesecake." Talking about what you're doing at home by yourself in English is a great way to start thinking in English. When you come across a word or a phrase that you don't know, pull up a translator app on your phone, copy and paste it into a notes section for sentences you're learning. Set small, daily goals. For example, listen to 10 minutes of English audio every day and learn 3 new sentences each morning. Sometimes when you're trying to make something a daily habit, just starting that 10-minute goal is the hardest part. Once you've mustered the energy to begin, you'll often find that the 10 minutes can turn into 15 or 20 minutes. By surrounding yourself with English daily, you'll build fluency without even realizing it. Let's recap what we've talked about for skipping the first steps and mastering English faster. Start with sentences, not words. Listen first, speak second. Learn what you'll actually use. Make mistakes, and immerse yourself in English daily. Remember, learning English doesn't have to be complicated. Focus on real-life communication, and don't worry about being perfect. Fluency comes from practice and progress, not perfection. I hope you found this lesson helpful. If you did, please like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone you know who's learning English. And let me know in the comments, what's your biggest challenge in learning English? I'd love to help. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep learning, and we'll talk soon.